Hi, I'm Joanne from the Full Spectrum Centre Limited, an award-winning wellness and vocational training centre, and you're listening to the Full Spectrum Wellness Podcast. This show is all about physical, mental, emotional and spiritual wellness, and it's for people who are looking to improve their overall health and well-being. Each week, I'll share with you all the positive takeaways, tools, techniques and tips that I've gathered in both my personal and professional wellness journey that will help you to look, feel and be well. With a dose of motivation and meditation to keep you going, I'll be joined by a few friends who will be sharing their insights along the way too. Welcome to episode 26 of our Full Spectrum Wellness Podcast. I'm so happy and excited to be back here with you for our 26th episode. We're living in unusual times and it's more important than ever to focus on health and well-being. Stress can lead to poor eating habits and it's no secret that many of us turn to food during times of high anxiety. And this can result in overeating and poor food choices. So today, I wanted to talk about the concept of mindful eating, the benefits it offers for your overall well-being, and how you can incorporate this practice into your daily routine. Now, there are biological reasons that so many of us eat when stressed. When we are physically or emotionally stressed, the body releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol does a lot of things, including increasing food cravings for foods high in sugar or fat. Stress also increases the hormones that produce feelings of hunger. Stress is really harmful to your mind and your body. It's especially important to be mindful during those times in your life when you're experiencing stress. And stress makes it much more likely that you will experience hunger even though you've already had plenty to eat. Eating when your body doesn't need food increases the chance of unintentional weight gain and can negatively affect your health. Just because you're hungry doesn't mean you should eat. Hunger is a signal that you should consider eating, so consider it. But if you've already had enough to eat, make the decision to pass. Remember to eat when you're hungry. Eating when you're not hungry, it might make you feel better, but your brain doesn't care if you're hungry or not. It will make eating seem like a great idea. Unfortunately, eating when your body doesn't actually need food leads to weight gain, which contributes to the development of many diseases. Under stress, many of us resort to eating all the sorts of things that we know we shouldn't eat. So unhealthy foods, chips, ice cream, processed meats, sweets, biscuits, and other unhealthy foods. These suddenly become even more appealing than they usually are. Eating while stressed is likely to result in overeating too, and not only do you eat too much, but you're likely to be eating these unhealthy foods that I just talked about. If you're stressed, you're going to eat in a way that makes you feel even worse. If you're eating when your body doesn't need food, you're eating foods that just aren't good for you. You're almost certainly going to feel worse after you eat than you felt before you started. So stress takes your mind off the eating experience. You eat mindlessly. You're more likely to find yourself eating while watching the TV, watching YouTube videos, and thinking about whatever is causing you stress, or even daydreaming. Stress is a part of life now more than ever. It's easy to allow your eating patterns to get out of control when you're stressed. You're more likely to crave unhealthy foods or to eat when you're not hungry. Stress and poor eating habits are strongly linked. Now, mindful eating is a practice that encourages us to pay attention to our hunger, to our fullness cues, to savour the flavours and the texture of our food, and appreciate the nourishment they provide. Simply put, mindful eating is eating with your full awareness on your food and the entire eating process. This approach to eating promotes a healthier relationship with food, and it can lead to improved digestion, weight management, and emotional well-being. So let's explore the principles of mindful eating in a little bit more detail. Now, most of us sit down for a meal and mindlessly fill ourselves up. We're often overeating because we're just not paying attention to whether we're full or not. We'll eat unhealthy food because we haven't given serious thought to nutritional value of the meal that we're about to eat. Our mind just isn't on the meal. We're thinking about the bills that need to be paid, the ironing that needs doing. We might be watching the TV. We might even be driving down the road while eating, which is illegal, I have to point out. This is the exact opposite of mindful eating. Now, there are several benefits to practicing mindful eating, and some of these include better digestion. By slowing down and chewing your food thoroughly, this helps your body to break down and absorb the nutrients more efficiently. And weight management. By paying attention to hunger and fullness cues, you'll be less likely to overeat and you'll maintain a healthy weight. And emotional well-being. Mindful eating helps you to develop a more balanced relationship with food, reducing emotional eating and fostering self-compassion. So I wanted to share with you some practical tips to help you incorporate mindful eating into your daily routine. The first one is about hunger. I want you to ask yourself before you start eating, am I hungry? If you're not hungry and you're not planning on climbing a mountain later that day, you're probably better off not eating. Your body is very adept at telling you when it requires more food, so consider asking yourself these questions. If you're hungry, how hungry are you? Should you be hungry based on your recent eating activity? How much food do you think it will take to satisfy you? And what are you hungry for? Is that a healthy option? The second thing I want you to think about is nutritional value. Before eating anything, think about the nutritional value of that food. Roughly, how many calories is it? Is it a food high in carbohydrates? Is it high in fat? Does it contain a lot of vitamins and minerals? Or is it basically junk food? And think about, what are your current goals regarding your health and body weight? Does this food help you to achieve those goals, or will it move you in the opposite direction? I also want you to project into the future. What I mean by this is most people only consider how a food is going to make them feel while they're eating it. They fail to consider how they will feel physically and emotionally after the act of eating has concluded. So before you eat something, ask yourself how you'll feel immediately afterwards and how you'll feel in an hour or two. Also, I want you to think about the appearance. What does your food look like? What colour is it? Is it appealing? How is the food arranged on the plate? Based on the appearance, how do you anticipate the food will taste and feel in your mouth? And what do you smell? Can you smell the spices that you've used in the food? How do you anticipate the food will taste based on that smell? Can you tell how hot the food is by bringing it close to your nose? And taste. It's time to finally taste your food. So feel your jaw moving. Notice how your tongue is involved in the eating process. Take your time and chew your food thoroughly. Depending on what you're eating, this might require quite a bit more time than you're used to. It's a lot easier on your body to digest food that's been chewed very thoroughly. And importantly, notice the flavour of the food. Describe the taste to yourself. How many times have you been having your meal, you're busy, you've got to get somewhere and you just wolf it down? You don't notice the flavours, you don't notice the taste. And texture, what does the food feel like in your mouth? Is it crunchy? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it slimy? Is it soft? Describe the texture to yourself as you're eating it. And pay attention to the texture after you've done chewing and are about to swallow. What does the food feel like now? Remember, foods can affect your mood and your body. For example, most people find the taste of chocolate to be very soothing. Me in particular, I'm not going to lie, I have a sweet tooth. Now, hot and spicy foods can be invigorating and make you sweat. They're not my favourites, I have to be honest. I'm not a great spicy food fan. You might find the foods containing gluten make you feel mentally or physically tired. Maybe you feel guilty about eating animal products and you want to be vegetarian or vegan. Notice the effects that your meal has on your mind and body during and after the meal. Pay attention for 2 hours after the meal and rate how you feel. I want you to think about presence as well. Are you paying attention to the overall eating process, or is your mind somewhere else? Are you having a lively debate at the dinner table? Are you watching a movie in the background? Are you listening to music? Are you even playing a game? Are you worried about your finances or thinking about work? If you're eating mindfully, you're not thinking about or paying attention to anything outside of that meal. Now, this doesn't mean it's necessary to ignore family during a meal, but keep distractions to a minimum and focus on your meal. You can chat more or play a game afterwards. And no phones, radios, TVs, tablets, computers, books or games while you're eating. Mindful eating is putting your full awareness on the eating experience. It also includes understanding your eating habits, evaluating your hunger, choosing the right foods for you, eating the proper amounts, and being fully engaged with the eating process while you're eating. Eating mindfully is a big change for most people. Maybe you're used to standing in the kitchen and eating a frozen pizza while you watch YouTube videos. Moving from that experience to eating at the table, chewing slowly and thoroughly, focusing on your food and eating in silence might be just a step too far. So instead, try implementing one aspect of mindful eating at a time. So, focus on chewing your food very slowly for several days. Spend a week putting your full attention on the eating experience. Make a real effort to choose your foods mindfully. And track your food intake for a week. Notice the quality of the food and the number of calories. And only allow yourself to eat while hungry. Break down mindful eating to its individual components and you'll become skilled at each one before moving on to another. Slow progress is 1,000,000 times better than no progress at all. And remember, it's not a race. So next time you sit down to have a meal, remember to set the scene. Create a peaceful eating environment by decluttering your dining space and minimising distractions. Savour the flavours. Take the time to truly taste and enjoy the flavours, textures and aromas of your food. Listen to your body. So tune into the hunger and the fullness cues and honour your body's needs without any judgment. And express gratitude. Before each meal, take a moment to express gratitude for the nourishment your food provides. Mindful eating is a powerful practice that can transform your relationship with food and improve your overall well-being. By incorporating these tips into your daily routine, you'll cultivate a greater appreciation for the nourishment you receive, and you'll develop a more balanced, healthy approach to eating. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. I hope you found the discussion and the tips covered really helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this episode, please do leave a rating and a review and share it with your friends and family. Pop along to our website at thefullspectrumcentrelimited.com and join our self-care and wellness newsletter club. You'll receive our free 55-page printable self-care guide and workbook. Well, that's all for this episode, but I really look forward to seeing you next week. Take care and bye for now.